Hello there, my name's Johnny Bannister, Pole Position UK, and I'm here today on this big windswept pit in the heart of the land of the giants. I'm meeting Eddie Stocker today, one of our chief consultants, to talk about tackling a big pit. So tell me, Eddie, the obvious question, what draws you to these big inland seas?
I think it's mainly the adventure, John. You know, you just have to look out on a big pit and it does that, I don't know, you get that feel, it makes you feel alive, and you've done a lot of it yourself, so I imagine, you know.
Yeah, it's the unknown, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Especially on a place like this where there is a lot of unknown fish, and whatever, you know, the next thing that comes out it could be, you know, a scammy
Dave.
It could be Big Dave.
Big Dave,
you never know.
50 pound.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'll say at this juncture, we've got rods out, so you'll probably see us drifting about. We've actually had fish over the spot, so we're getting quite excited at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, even on, you know, something that we're, you know, quite a few acres here, and when you see fish start jumping, it's so exciting when you find them, isn't it?
Definitely. After setting it up yesterday, you know, maybe causing a little bit of disturbance, you know, when you see that fish show over your bait, it's something else, isn't it? It's like it fires you up, and then obviously 20 or 30 shows later, it's kind of, what's going on now?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, I completely get it. I mean, you know, if you look, we're in Cambridgeshire, land of the giants. I mean, there's more 50 and 60 pounders in this area than anywhere else now in the country. You know, and in fact, you know, even in parts of Europe, if you look, there's so many big fish, isn't there?
Yeah.
You know, and you know, yourself, you're from, you know, just outside of Liverpool, and you're drawn, everybody's drawn. I mean, it's the Newcombe Valley. Yeah. It's the epicenter of big fish, isn't it? Yeah. But how many people, you know, obviously now we've got a lot of lakes that, you know, have been stocked, and, you know, they're all otter fenced in, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's obviously serving a purpose. But something like this is just so wild, isn't it? And like you said, it's when you get that, you know, that single bleep and all of a sudden the rod melts off. You're never going to replace that, are you?
No. You know, the fire that brings to you, wow. That's it. It's the adventure mainly, but that sort of thing, you got, you know, it's not the same as when you know, I'm not putting it down, but you sort of quite commercial, sterile venue, you know, it's just not the same.
But this is not for everybody either, is it?
No, that's basically, yeah. It's a step. You know, it's a difficult proposition.
Yeah.
But the rewards are worth you know, worth that effort, the extra effort, if you like, and the, you know, potentially, you know, we've had fish showing over us all morning, but we still haven't caught one.
Not yet.
You know, not yet. Definitely
not yet. They're getting through the bait first, aren't they?
They're having a taste.
Yeah.
But you know,
we are in a bit of a bait and wait, weren't we? Really, because. We looked at it and we thought, you know what, we'll put some bait in early and then let the session play on, and, you know, as they wheedle the way through it, that's when the bites will come. And I think some of these big pits, I don't think you can add bait towards the end of the session. It gets more difficult, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's either a case of get it in when you're there, or ideally, as we were speaking about this morning, before you leave for the next session to prep it. You know, you can come back. They've had a go with your food. They've been in the zone.
Whoa!
Just a case.
Sorry, that was one just to the right of, the snag out there.
It's definitely.
Sorry about that.
Oh, and again.
Oh, really? Oh, it's a grebe.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was on the left. I definitely saw him. It wasn't Dave, but that was not a bad fish.
Big Dave.
But, you know, so, you know, anybody watching this, you know, it's easy to wax lyrical about, you know, how you step up. But, you know, there's a lot of lads watching, and, you know, you don't even have to be a young lad. You could be at any level of angling. But the actual effort it takes, you know, to obviously go out in a boat, to be safe, to find spots, there's floating weed rafts, you know, you're dealing with we've got a massive hatch on here. We're being plagued by the hatch that's come off this morning. What do you think the natural progression is to go from, you know, fishing your local little syndicate?
Yes! You. Walk back, John, walk back. Oh,
yeah, I've got to take this right up to get away from them snags. Get away from these snags. We're good. I'm just going to stay back up here.
Yeah. I've got loads, mate. You're good.
Yeah, we're good, yeah. Well clear.
Clear. Oh,
God, my heart is in my mouth. I'm shaking.
when you don't know what's on the
No,
edge. I'll shut up.
this is exactly what we're talking about.
Big Dave!
Could be, could be Big Dave. Thing is, with these fish,
Was down high.
he's fighting for his life as well.
Yep.
He's probably never been hooked before.
Probably guarantee. Ooh.
Whoa, he's giving it some.
Yeah, still don't give him anything with the.
Okay, mate.
I think once you've got him a little bit closer, you can probably play
Yep.
him on the clutch.
Come on. Oh, he's in that weed. He's in the weed.
Do you want to go on the boat? I don't think he'll pull him through that.
No, he's moving.
He's moving. Oh, good.
He's moving. But it's in the weed.
Keep him going. And once you're onto it, it's quite. Do you want more? I'll follow the line just in case
Yep.
it comes up.
Yeah, he's in the weed. Come on, baby. Don't let me down. So, this is the worst bit now.
Are you making anything, or is it?
No, I'm
solid?
just holding it, mate. I don't want to put no pressure on it. Is it gone? Is it gone? Oh, mate.
You believe it?
It's, mate. So, yeah, basically, Eddie's gone out to land it, and the waders have filled up. You've gone over a little ledge as well, haven't you? And, you know, and that's what we say, isn't it? This is what it's all about. We slightly gutted. I mean, it felt like a really good fish. I don't think we could believe it that we got a bite that because we really...
Yeah, and when it's gone that way in the weed, it's just stuck in the weed bed.
Yeah. But yeah, that's part and parcel of this sort of fishing. I am a bit gutted, Eddie's gutted, but we are a team.
Yeah.
And, you know, we do it as a team, don't we, mate?
Yeah.
And to be honest, you know, it's very difficult sometimes to fish on your own like this, isn't it?
Oh, it is. You know, foe in the lake.
Yeah, his phone's gone as well, which
Yeah, so
I feel a bit guilty about.
you know, part and parcel. These things do eat you alive, to be fair. So paid the lake.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's worth even mentioning, you know, that safety comes first. I mean,
definitely.
there's a big wind on here today. Obviously, we've got the life jacket in the boat, but we opted to just land it. Obviously, because of the wind, you don't want to be blown about all over the place.
No.
But obviously, even that proved to be quite dangerous as well, didn't it?
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah, always safety first. Right, we'll get dried off. We'll get the kettle on, and we'll have another chat.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, mate.
That was entertaining, wasn't it, John?
I think, in hindsight, we have to, well, not even hindsight, I think, you know, here, now, in a moment, we have to brush ourselves off, don't we, mate? And we always start again. We've got some rods out on the spot. I don't know about you. You know, I mean, obviously, we're a little team here fishing today, and I think that's wonderful. I love it. But there's always this thing. And it's almost like, you know, when the one that got away, it makes you keener, doesn't it?
Do you know what? It does fire up. Once you've had that bite, it's just, you know, yeah, it's on.
Yeah. But we don't want to dwell on that too much. I mean, we might even get another go. You don't know. But apologies anybody who heard the swearing as well, because we get excited. We're normal lads, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're just anglers, aren't we? Like anybody else. But, you know, just I'd say one more thing, just to, you know, not to over reiterate that, you know, sometimes a big pit like this with massive winds, and I think it is better if you're fishing with somebody, and you can see, can't you, straight away how, you know, if you was on your own, you know, if you think it's bad with two of you, how with one of you, you know, it could be catastrophic, couldn't it, really?
Especially from the safety aspect as well, with the boat and with everything else going against you.
I mean, it looks beautiful now. It's gone nearly flat calm. The minute we get a bite, I mean, there's white horses. What's that all about? But anyway, so yeah. So going back anyway, I mean, I've lost my mind, obviously, with that incredible bite. Just one thing that I was going to say, our rod locks there. I mean, my God, how much pressure was that fish putting on that rod lock there?
Yeah.
Or putting on the rod? I mean, we were locked right up on that. We braid with a bit of a short leader. I mean, there wasn't a lot of stretch in that at all, was there, mate?
No. Bar the rod, you know, there's not a lot of stretch at all, and that wasn't moving.
No.
It was full fighting curve on the rod.
Yeah. And without that rod lock on there, that would have just gone ping, and it just flew, wouldn't it, through the water?
Yeah. You know, we're locked up at not a massive range. The small amount of stretch in the mono leader is that's the only stretch. So,
and we needed that.
Oh, of course.
It was the
yeah.
perfect little bit. It's just like a little buffer.
Yeah, the bungee
It's a little bungee buffer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that type of thing.
you take the strain out of the sort of the
Yeah.
cold mainly, and yeah.
Yeah, anyway, before we had all that, excitement, I mean, we're hoping they're going to go again because we're right on the money, aren't we?
I'm sure a bite is imminent.
Imminent. Oh, I like the sound of that. Imminent. Yeah. Makes me all excited. It's feel all warm and fuzzy. But yeah, one thing I was going to mention, we can talk about it. I know we've both got a bit of experience fishing the big pits, but I get asked a lot about the moon, Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, mate. Everybody talks about the moon and Big Common and all this stuff and everything. But, I mean, have you had a lot of success on the big moons?
Yes and no. I think it's quite hot topic at the moment. People do follow the moons, and there's a lot of there's a lot of information regarding the subject. But I do plan my trips around a new moon or a full moon, whether that's the lead up to it or over the actual moon itself. The contradicting sort of thing that I've found is the sort of full moon. When it's full moon for a day or the 2 days of the full moon, I found activity seems to sort of is lessened, if anything.
Yeah.
So I tend to work on the principle, if I can, I'll do a couple 3 days before the moon.
Yeah.
Depending on what I can fit in. And actually over the moon, I tend to put some bait in and go home, and I'll do 2 days after the moon. Oh God!
Oh, that's just me heart. Just me heart.
Yeah. But back to the moon situation. I think especially on bigger lakes with a volume of water. I know the tides of the sea and stuff. That it's a big volume of water that's affected by the moon.
Yeah.
But there must be some correlation.
Yeah.
Because the results would speak for themselves.
They do. But sorry, I was going to say, if you look, right. I mean, what happens on a big moon? You get a hatch, don't you?
Exactly.
So I mean, you get a hatch. I'm not being funny, and it does grind my gears a little. No, grind my gears is not enough. When people go, I match the hatch. What? Because you've got a pop up and a boil. No, we're talking about people that came up with this and considered match the hatch years ago.
Like a trout angler.
Yeah, I mean that's real match the hatch.
Yeah.
And they're looking at the real hatch.
Example.
And and look, we've got turns going down now. I mean, obviously they've been going for a lot of the small stuff, but we've had a lot of goals on here because we've had a hatch on here now, haven't we? I mean,
yeah. Oh, speaking of, yeah. There's definitely it's a wild pit. There's an abundance of natural food.
Yeah. Think about blood beds. You see, I'd look for a blood bed.
Yeah.
And something sort of struck me once. I mean, many years ago, I was like on a beach, sat there, sort of off me nut on about 12 San Miguel's or whatever. And like you do. And all of a sudden, somebody said, there's all turtles going up the beach. And I said, well, they can't be going up the beach. It's a full moon. And they're all going on a full moon. And I said to this fella, I said, God, that's weird, isn't it? And we got chatting and we said, we realised why they're going on a full moon. Because if you look at the apex predators, even they're frightened of a full moon. Even the ones at the top of the chain, because as it becomes light, what do all predators do? They go, don't they? They disappear, they hide. But, things get eaten in the dark, don't they? They get ambushed and stuff.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I'd realised, or I thought I'd realised, that you get all these hatches, big hatches on the moon because they've got more chance of survival because there's safety.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought. So I started fishing, religiously on the moons. Now, I can't say for myself personally it was common, but I found if you don't find a clear spot and fish on a full moon and expect to, have it away. But do you see a fish?
Just behind the float.
Nice. But just get in a weed or get on a clay spot, get on a blood bed, because it's quite likely that something's going to be hatching on that full moon. And again, the predation, everything's, but obviously it doesn't affect the fish. They don't seem to worry too much because it's light, isn't it? It's so light.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense because that's where the natural food is. That's their food larders.
It is. So okay. So I mean, just conversely as well, if you look at the moon, I think one of the interesting things we did for a magazine a few years ago, we did an article, and just leading up to a full moon, dog bites increase. Accident and emergency, the people get admitted, that increases. Even supermarket take-ins go up by something like 1.5 to 2%.
So we're affected by the moon.
We're affected. We're profoundly affected by the moon.
Yeah.
Hence, when people say, he or she is a lunatic, you know, the magnet in you know, we're all electrical, aren't we?
Yeah.
And obviously these are all electrical. All animals got electrical activity.
Yeah.
And then when you get a big old magnet up there that's full of electric and, you know.
And then there's a trigger, yeah.
And it does a trigger. So I think what I would say to anybody, have a look at it, but don't fish a clear spot and don't put a boil on there thinking that it's going to improve your angling, because I don't think that would do that.
Yeah, there's a lot before you get to that.
There's a lot before you get to that.
You know,
yeah. Sorry, I just seen another one there. It's driving me mad here, having this conversation. It's so exciting. But one thing again, the other thing, you know, people ask me again, like, I don't know about yourself, you know, when you're on the big pits, you know, it's been a while since, you know, I mean, I used to fish, well, I mean, I've fished a lot of pits over the years. It's like pressure. I think pressure is one of the most important things.
definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, are you looking for you know, your quintessential low pressure?
Yes and no, like especially this time of year, sort of end of summer coming through to autumn, the big low pressure weather conditions, the stormy conditions, which sort of with the moon, I always find that you tend to find with a big moon or a new moon, even full moon, new moon, you tend to find weather with it, whether it's a break in the weather, whether it's a low pressure system that's coming over, and it's so consistent that I can sort of edge my bets that if I go before the moon, I'm likely to get a good weather system.
Yeah.
And I think that to me is more important than the moon.
Yeah.
But they tend to come in hand. So I use that as my marker or tail, I suppose.
Absolutely.
But conversely, again, you know, the 2 days before and after a new or full moon is when it will affect the tides the most. How you need tides, etc. So that's why my kind of, if I can plan, you know, a longer trip at the right time of year over a full moon, I will try to do a couple before and a couple after, and maybe leave it on the actual full moon itself and bait it up and come back. And it seems to have done you know, I've had results doing it to lead me to believe that. Yeah.
And obviously there's always an element of high pressure, isn't there, around the moon as well, weirdly. Yeah, a lot of high pressure on a moon.
This week, funnily enough, we've had the weather's not actually been the best. We've had a nice overcast. You know,
it's been up, hasn't it, the pressure?
Yeah, it's raised since Monday, which is...
And that's what I was going to say, sorry. You know about pressure? I used to fish this particular lake, lovely lake. I won't name it, you know, for respect for the lads. But I used to look at the weather. Obviously, I've got a barometer, right? So it's low pressure, I'd fish on the bottom. And it's medium pressure, I'd fish in the middle. And it's high pressure, I'd fish at the top.
Yeah.
And people say, you always catch a fish out of it. And honestly, it was that simple, mate.
Yeah, because...
So you'd see it, the barometer was high.
Yeah.
They're up. It's in the middle, they're there. It's on the bottom, and they're feeding on the bottom. And you see that with the underwater films, mate. You see, honestly, sometimes you see
reinforced.
Yeah, you see them munching away when a big bank of cloud comes in. All of a sudden, it becomes clear, it becomes bright, and you just see them drifting up. And then you see them mid-water, and sometimes they'll say, oh my God, they're jumping, they're on the surface, and you say, well, 10 minutes ago, it was all on the bottom.
Yeah.
And I think really you have to, I don't think, in many respects, I don't think you can just go and set up and think, you know, okay, if you're bait and weight, I understand that, knowing the weather's going to change. But I think sometimes you can't just sit there and fling them out and think, oh, well, that'll do. You have to look into it a little bit more sometimes, don't you? On any lake, that would, you know?
I think the more you put into it, the more you're going to get back on. You ask them questions, they're like, it'll give you an answer, and you can correlate them with other findings. But going back to the pressure thing, you know, in my angle, years ago, I fished a really deep wild lake again, with sort of 30, 35 foot depths. The only time I could catch in them depths if it was really low pressure in the autumn. Right. The water had turned over, so you've got warm water at the depths basically. But if the pressure was low, they would comfortably feed down 35 foot of water. And I only assume it's because of the air pressure on top of the water.
That's how it works. They say, don't they, when you're at school even, you work out, they say it's like laying a blanket, don't they? That's what they say.
Yeah.
On top of you. You know, and I think sometimes, I've got out of the car with my wife and I've said, God, I feel like the pressure's dropping. And she'll say, oh, don't be silly. I feel like as an animal, and I think the more you're out and the more you experience it, I think you can start.
You're in tune.
Can't you? You can be in tune. Do you know, just one more thing before we sort of wrap up about the big pits, the big wild pits. In fact, me and Little John, we fished a 400-acre pit. And again, well, I was telling you about the warm water pit.
Oh.
The only one in England or in Britain, I think. And, we had it away there. But one thing I noticed, and, like when the warm water, when it was turned off, if you was in the water, you'd feel the thermal layers 100%. You could put your hand in even in the edge, and one bit would be really warm, one bit would be really cold. And it got me sort of kind of thinking about it. When I came back down here and I was doing a bit of diving, getting ready for another underwater film that we were going to do, it made me, I started focusing and watching, fish's activity. And you know what, sometimes, you get these thermal layers. And that's what I was saying. It's a little bit like where they would lay within, you'd see the fish and they'd all drift into the warmer layers.
In the comfort zone.
In the comfort zone. Yeah. So they wouldn't even be on, imagine the layer, it might be a warm layer on the bottom, but imagine if it was cold, you wouldn't want to be there.
No. And at certain times of the year, that is the cold zone, isn't it? Sort of early spring.
That's right.
You wouldn't fish that deep zone.
You wouldn't fish it. That's what I was
low pressure or not, you wouldn't, because it's cold.
Yeah.
Conversely, now this time of year, it's the opposite
It's
effect.
the opposite.
You've got your turnover.
Yep.
It'll cool from the surface.
And,
But that knowledge, it can just write off areas of lake, can't it? You can go, right, this place, you're going to look, you're going to do your due diligence, but you're not going to spend an hour there where I think that knowledge, kind of building that knowledge bank, makes it. It's not easy by any means, but it makes it easier. Rather than
That's right. The last thing I was going to say, to add to the big pit fishing, one thing I noticed, I told you on, Drayton Fen years ago, the carp tunnels. When you see these tunnels, they're using these tunnels. They're like super highways that you see the fish all coming through. And I remember, I think I told you this, didn't I, that I'd found these carp tunnels where they all converged on one spot.
Yeah.
And, that was through, looking in the boat and stuff. And if I was telling the truth, probably a bit naughty and had a wetsuit and had a little look in there.
As you do.
But yeah, and they all converged to this area. And so I put a bit of bait up. And, that was before it was stocked. And they were saying it was one of the hardest waters, so-and-so has not caught one for 5 years. He's been here for 3 years. And I had one on the first night.
Yeah.
Just by looking. Sometimes it's not just a case of casting out, is it? Have a little look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think to me, especially on places like this, the casting out part is the end result of a lot of effort and work to find where the fish are, presentable areas, and possibly, pre-bait and getting them onto the food. And, the 10% is reeling it, getting the rods and
is getting, well, not like a minute ago.
Well, yeah.
We had a bit of poor luck there, don't we?
Well, you win some, you lose some, eh?
And like I've said to you, you have been likened a couple of times, and I think it's fair, like a little sort of satellite operation, like an Annex Terrier, and you've got that sort of look about you, got that feel. But, I've fished with him, I've filmed with him, and he probably spends less rod hours in the water than anybody I've ever met. He's always watching, he's always learning, he's always looking. And then when it's right, he fishes.
Yeah.
And quite often, what I've noticed, with people like Terry, they don't seem to go through the whole stock of the lake. They seem to catch the big ones, don't they?
And that's a skill. Habits, yeah. Oh, definitely. It's something that I wouldn't say I target specific fish, but when you see, if you know a specific fish's habits, it's going to be a lot easier.
A lot easier,
isn't it? It's
yeah. In fact, there is just one more little topic I wanted to cover on this. Like we're stepped right up, aren't we? And I think a bite, you have to cherish a bite when it comes on somewhere like here.
Yep.
Obviously, like I said, we lost one earlier, but the reality is you have to cherish it. They don't come along very often.
No.
You cannot be underprepared, can you?
No.
So what would your go-to sort of setup in terms of real line poundage through to leaders? What would you use generally?
Well, the kind of philosophy is fish for the biggest fish in the pond.
Yep.
Which is an unknown, but the potential is huge. So I'm going to tackle up for that. So currently I've got £30 heavy 8 sinking braid, which is as tough as old boots.
Yep.
The low stretch means I'm going to have good indication if I have to go at range or short range. It gives me the durability to go pull through the weeds. And I've actually paired that up with 3 rod lengths of the monofilament leader, which is there's a lot of structure out in the lake, which the braid and
that's snags for southerners.
Snags, yeah, just snags, structure, timber.
Love it.
Not nice things.
Yeah.
So, basically with the braid being quite thin, it's strong, but if it touches any of the structure, it could possibly go. So we've got three rod lengths of mono as a sort of abrasion resistance, and as a secondary.
And what poundage is that?
That will be the 54 pounds, I believe it to be.
That's
So
beast mode, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a nice thick, you could run it over a rock a good, before it's going to let go.
Yeah.
But also it's got a nice amount of stretch. So the rods we've just had to take on are fish locked up, because we can't give them any take. They go straight into the snag structure. So basically that's taken a little bit of strain due to the no stretch in the setup with the braid. That's just allowing us just a slight buffer. So we've got something, and it's not, because it's putting a lot of tension onto the hook hold, which, at that sort of, we want to make sure we get them in.
Absolutely. And the last thing, you don't want to bite, and you don't want to, get the bite, the hard bit, and then lose it.
Yeah. Due to something, just for not being prepared.
Yeah.
It's a setup that I've used on less, let's call it, snaggy lakes, and the leader will be reduced to something that's more suitable. But yeah, not taking any chances.
No.
At all.
Okay. Well, Eddie, thanks for your time. Well, and hopefully we might have another one.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Cheers. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
It's on the 3-man job to get a fish in.
Oh yes, the man. The bump there, that. Way. Yes, John. Oh, well done, big pats on the back.
I feel like I've done about 10 rounds with Mike Tyson.
He must have just realised he ain't winning.
Yeah.
And some right back at you.
Well, finally on dock, third attempt we managed to land one. It was a proper team effort, obviously, because you can clearly see it's not very big, but look how beautiful this is. Big team effort. It's been a tough day in it today. Look for this little jewel, little prize. Come on in the picture, mate. Look at this. Look at that. And all you got to do is bring Big Dave back.
Big Dave.
This is not even little Dave, really, is it? But look at it. Look how beautiful. Imagine this at 40 pounds. Even though it's little, I never get fed up of even catching fish that are so beautiful, do you?
It's amazing, isn't it? I think it's never seen a hook before.
Never seen a hook.
No.
Beautiful.
Little stunner.
Let's get you back.
Well done, mate.
Right, lovely. Thank you.
Oh, come on. Left hand land. We're away. Straight back, Eddie. Keep it going, Eddie.
One hustle and net up.
We've got the net ready. I'll keep it up. Keep going, Eddie. Keep moving. Start winding him in.
There.
Yeah, we've got it here.
Got the net there, mate. Little ghosty. Come on. Just net it, Joe.
Behind there.
It's in. Get in.
First blood from the wild lake. Hopefully first of many. Heavy 8 braid straight through to a mono front line snag leader. Managed to pull him straight back from the snags, and he was nailed. Absolutely nailed.